Checkpoint makes and supports some amazing products, and the major way that they get their revenue is from licenses. With Smart Update, we can manage all the licenses in our Checkpoint environment through the Security Management Server. And that's referred to as a central license. And the license itself ties the licenses to the IP address of the security manager. So we can put all the licenses associated with the security manager, and then we can attach or distribute, if you will, those licenses out to the individual gateways that in turn enable the licenses for the blades that are running on those gateways. And the key is with the central license, we don't have to worry about all the individual remote gateway IP addresses. All we need to worry about is the one IP address on the security management server, because initially that's where the licenses are going to be linked to. Now, in contrast to that, if we just wanted to have a specific license for a specific gateway, we could deploy it with a local license. But here's the negative. On that gateway that's in Timbuktu or wherever it is, if that IP address ever needs to change, the license is no longer going to work because it was locally assigned to that specific gateway with that specific IP address. So if we go back to the central approach, if we have to move a gateway, we could detach the license from a gateway, change its IP address, and then attach that license again from our security management server with central licensing to give that gateway its licenses with its new IP address, because we're using the central approach. To launch Smart Update, it's really simple. Here in Smart Console, we'll go up to the menu in the upper left, click on Menu to bring down the list, and then about 3/4 of the way down we have Manage Licenses and Packages, and we'll click that, and that will launch Smart Update for us. Now, when Smart Update launched, it actually gave us the license/contract expiration notice, which is handy because we want to know what licenses have expired and what licenses are about to expire. So we can go ahead and specify the search context so it'll let us know what's coming up that needs to be updated. Or if we close this window, I'll go ahead and click on Cancel, and we wanted to see that notice again, we can go up here to the menu item here in Smart Update, and from the menu, we could hover over License and Contracts, and then from this menu, we can click on the option for Show Expired right here, and that'll bring that menu right back up for us. Now, in order to get licenses, there's 3 ways that we can get licenses into our Checkpoint system, and they're right here off the menu. So if we click on the menu, and then we hover over License and Contracts again, and then we hover over Add License, we can do it from User Center, which will actually log us into User Center, and that way we can get licenses directly from User Center. Or if we have a file, we can do it directly from a file. Or if we want to do it manually, which implies copy paste, we can use the manual option. Also, there's shortcuts for those right here as well. So here's the shortcut for Add License from User Center. Here's the shortcut for Add License manually, which is the copy paste option. And here's the option for Import licenses from a file. And this option right here, which is currently selected, allows us to see the license and contract repository right down here. So down here, we'll go ahead and click on this one as an example. We have an unattached license, which implies we have a license. The license type is central, meaning it's associated with the management server, and then can be attached out to a gateway that the manager is managing. So at the moment, this one that we have right here is currently not attached. So if we wanted to associate this license with one of our gateways, we simply right-click on that license. And then from here, we can click on Attach License, which would then give us a list of gateways. And then from there, we can associate or attach this license to that specific gateway. We also have options on what we want to view. We want to view all the unattached licenses. We can click there. Or from the drop-down, we can select View Attached Licenses. It'll show that. Or if we right-click and say View All Licenses and Contracts, it'll show us everything. One of the many things that I've loved about Checkpoint is the fact that if you have the ISO for Gaia, and you download it, you can actually deploy it, and it comes with a plug-and-play evaluation license, which is good for like 15 days. So you can practice and work with it in a lab environment without having to formally get a license if you just want to kick the tires and check things out. And if you want more than 15 days, you can request an evaluation license, which might be, for example, like 30 days. And again, the intent is not for a production environment, but simply to kick the tires or to look at products or services to either learn about them or see how they might fit in your environment. And with these kind of temporary licenses with a fairly short expiration date, it makes it pretty easy to check the services out. And in a production environment where you're actually purchasing and using the services, you'd have either a subscription-based license that has to be renewed, for example, annually, or they have some products that also include perpetual licenses, where you have the license, you apply it once, and it's good forever. And the perpetual versus subscription is based on the type of service that you're licensing. And the key is we'd want to make sure we have all the licenses active that we're using in our production environment, because if we have a license that expires or goes away, we're going to lose the features and functions that that license for that service was providing. In this nugget, we've taken a look at Smart Update, which among other things can help us manage and work with our licenses. And preferably, we're going to use central licensing where we can have the licenses associated with our security management server, and then from there, attach the individual licenses to the gateways within our organization. And if we're ever curious about when our licenses are going to expire or which licenses have expired, we can use Smart Update to give us that information as well. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.